Namaste, and welcome to February.
Namaste, really? I mean, welcome to February is almost an understatement, isn't it? And forgive our Panama hats, guys, but the sun is so strong right now, and we really wanted to capture the energy of the fountain, of our beautiful Shiva Linga rose quartz fountain here in the central courtyard at Tosa Blue Mountain Sanctuary, because there's so much energy coming out right now that we felt we wanted to be in an energetic spot to share everything that we have to share with you.
Absolutely. You know, as we are moving into 2018, we talked about this being a year of anchor stability, a year of an opportunity. It's almost a time out of time in the upliftment that's been starting since 2015. However,
here it comes.
Even though this year will be seen as offering a form of stability, there's so much momentum, there's so much opening that for some folks they'll say, I don't know what you're talking about, my life is just wow.
Yeah, and we wanted to jump right into that. Now, hopefully you've already had an opportunity to watch the video we just posted January 31. And this was the video with all of the new, and this is very important, these are 18 new Ascension symptoms. Watch this video. It's right on our homepage right now, because everything is escalating, and you don't have to be a miracle worker or a visionary to know that everything is escalating and everything is moving rapidly. Now, we have some visual aids, so we're just going to quick show this to you, and then we're going to talk about it. This is why things are so intense right now. And we're going to insert a still graphic of this so that you can also see it more. But we're going to be talking a lot about this because, remember, this year opened up in this powerful supermoon energy. We are still in it right now if you're catching us early on in the month. Remember that beautiful third, final, culminating energy, the bridge between 2017 and 2018, is peaking right now. And intensity is building. And you know, the other day someone said to me, they said, Kira, oh my goodness, you know, I just saw all your radio shows that you've got posted for February. Wow, we're in quite a big month. Yeah, we are. And the reality is, guys, this is not going to stop. Every month in 2018 is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It really is like this ball rolling down the hill, picking up steam. And this is why in the year of anchoring Shanti, Bhakti, and Ananda, you really want to harvest the precious gift of these first 3 months that are forcefully calling in stability to carry you through the rest of the year.
It's very important to remember that the opportunity that came forward in January, you can still capture this, is about the stability of your root chakra in the physical body. It's that sense of safety in the world, that sense of I deserve because I was born.
Yeah.
And then as we're moving into the February energies, which we'll talk more about in a moment, these are the stabilizing energies from which you can touch the stars. And so it's important to remember the paradox of stability is it doesn't mean nothing changes.
It means everything changed.
It means I'm okay with the flow that is upon us. I'm good with it. And if we stabilize here, we're able to lift up and expand here. So this is the gift of this time, an opportunity to stabilize the Shanti and the Bhakti, which is February, is coming in strong.
It's coming in really strong because remember, March is Ananda, and then that unified presence of those 3 chakras is what's going to sustain you through the whole year. Now, February, this is a huge, you know, it's funny, the shortest month of the year, yet this is going to be one of the most intense months of the year. Why? Because that third supermoon, we are still basking in that energy right now, and here in the Andes Mountains, oh my goodness, what an intense time it's been. And as the planet is really basking in this downfall of or pouring of energy, here's what's important to know about the onset of February. Of course it's the month of Bhakti. Of course it's the month of the creation in the second chakra and love, because every sentient being on the planet right now, I'm going to use our, every sentient being on the planet right now is dealing with the fact that the third and the fifth dimension are now anchored. And we've been twinning. The Earth has been twinning. Actually, the Earth started twinning way back when, right after the millennium. It started a rapid escalation when the Ascension escalator began in 2015. It got a pulse in 2012, and then 2015 through 2022. Remember, a very powerful time. And if you have not read if you've not watched our video on surviving 2015 to 2022, go watch that too. It's also on our homepage. So what has happened is that the third dimension has really become its own little, and we're calling it jellified. It's become, it's like a jelly goopy kind of energy, and it's loved so much that it's kind of been put into its own little protective device. Well, that protective device is the fourth dimension, and you'll see right here where we talk about that the collapsed fourth dimension is where you're seeing extreme duality, and that's collapsed very tightly around this jellified third dimension where you're going to start seeing extreme polarity. And this is already happening. This isn't news to all of you. I'm sure you guys already are aware of this.
You know, the fourth dimensional energy, one of its characteristics is it's emotional. It's detached from consequences. It's detached from the laws of cause and effect. It's just, it's an emotional child that is wrapped around and envious, jealous, and seeking to participate, seeking to control. And as you look into the world, at least the world that's advertised in the media, you're going to see all kinds of reactivity, polarity, bullying, name-calling, and swinging one way and swinging another way. This is the result of the influence of this fourth dimensional energy collapsed around the 3D. Now, the 3D itself has its own life. It will continue to call to itself participants in this form of reality. Whereas those of you that are anchoring in the fifth dimensional clarity, to seeking to kind of reconcile the fact that you are an ascended being having your earthly experience.
And this is why you might be feeling off balance. So let's talk about this,
Yeah.
because here was the surprise, okay? We knew, we've been watching, and it's very much like a torus. If you notice, there's kind of this torus energy with this pouring through this third dimensional experience. Everyone, every single being on the planet, without exception, every sentient being is in the energy of this entire experience right here. No one is immune. Whether you believe in it or not, whether you tie into it or not, it doesn't matter. Everyone is experiencing it. And this is part of why you're seeing the heightened, we're using the words multidimensional chaos, because we want you to understand one thing. For the first time ever, in let's just go back millions and millions and millions of years. We're not going to talk about ancient cosmology, but for this first time, we are all living in a tri-dimensional experience simultaneously. Now, this is extremely important to understand, because this is why there is, and please, please, please go watch our video, the one that we just put out about the 2018 Ascension symptoms. There is going to be it's already happening, but it's going to get bigger. Heightened sense of what you might call deja vu, what we've been calling remembering yourself, remembering self-ascension, remembering the future. You're going to see things and it'll start shifting. There is a vast overlay of dimensional experiences. It's real, it's happening, and if you resist it and if you doubt yourself, it can make you really, really, really crazy. So we want to explain it so that you can relax your brain and thrive. This is a moment of amazing joy if you are able to understand what's happening. So here we go. As Shri mentioned, we have this collapsed fourth dimension, right, which is where you see extreme duality. And that's wrapped around this jellified third dimension where we're seeing extreme polarity. Guys, that's not going to change. That's just what it is. The key is understanding it through the eyes and the wisdom of your ascended presence. This is the BHAKTI. The BHAKTI of February is rising up from that first chakra, right, where we anchored all of this beautiful Shanti and peace energy in January, rising up into this BHAKTI, this peace energy that is love. Rising the peace into the love. So how do you do that? Well, when the fifth dimension and the third dimension anchored, here was the surprise. The seventh dimension was so tightly, closely woven to the fifth that many, many, many beings had no idea it was ready to pop open so early. And so what happened is humanity got what I call a bonus lift. Right? We got a bonus lift because now what's going on is you've got the third, the fifth, and the seventh all available and open. So what does that mean? Well, it means we have the fourth and the sixth that are sitting there kind of like, how do I describe it? Almost like cartilage, right? They're kind of like a buffer to make the movement of this new joint easier.
They serve to either bounce you back or propel you forward. You have to cross through them in order to anchor in the pure harmony of the fifth, the seventh, or beyond.
Exactly. And so the sixth dimension, you notice we made it here like a star. A lot of people say, well, what about the sixth? Well, very much, just like in order to get to the fifth, you have to transit through the fourth. The beauty is, once you actually anchor in the fifth, the sixth becomes this beautiful, it's more of a star-like portal that assists you to easily really travel between the fifth and the seventh. Now, this is why we're talking about this tri-dimensional experience that's happening right now on the planet. The entire planet is anchoring. Imagine what's happening to those that are in density. You are going to see a great rise in extreme polarity, in intensity, in a lack of willingness to even breathe a moment of I want to use the word compromise. Because those that are stuck in density right now, remember, they've got this extreme jellified polarity covered by this duality. And so, when you are noticing all of the new Ascension symptoms, and again, that's why we published the video, because you really need to watch that as well as this video, what you're going to notice is that the only way through February, and the gift of through February, is through the creative essence of the second chakra and the gift of BHAKTI.
I want to expand upon that a little bit in practical terms. You know, the dimensional folding, the dimensional movements that are upon us sometimes are a little hard to wrap around. You know, we feel things, we get a sense of things, but to really step back from the picture and understand it is a rare experience for most people.
Yes.
The thing I want to get across is that reality is a perceptual context that works with your consciousness. And so for those folks that are organized around third dimensional consciousness, and it's easy to tap into that because we all grew through it.
Yes.
It's familiar. You know, we all grew up in that. They're going to have their worldly experience, and the thing is, we're here to love them, to allow them to bring that to completion. For those of you that are on a path of awakening, which we call the path of self-ascension, which is truly a yoga discipline, because we're working with our consciousness and our energy field to align with our authentic being, and our authentic being is outside of the third dimension. So I'm just offering this to you because as we choose to awaken, as we choose to align with authenticity, there's going to be a little turbulence in our lives, and you've already experienced it. So let me bring that back to BHAKTI. Shanti is the energy of peace and a foundation that we touched on last month. BHAKTI is the energy of love, but love has kind of two aspects. Love has the aspect of accepting yourself, loving yourself as a being, as you are. It also has the aspect of loving your past experiences and forgiving any experience that causes you to hang on to judgment. Because forgiveness is like a Velcro that keeps you locked in a unforgiveness, pardon me, unforgiveness, hurt, is a Velcro that keeps you locked in a dynamic where it will color all of your experiences. It puts attractor energies in your field. So forgiveness is the salve which we release the judgment that bound us to the past and allows the BHAKTI to flourish. So I want to offer that for those of you that are participating in your healing journey, and healing is necessary to live, that this month is a great month to bring in the energy of self-forgiveness, forgiveness of others, and gratitude, love for all.
Now, that's going to be challenging in the face of this jellified third dimensional polarity and the collapsed extreme duality of the fourth. However, look at this. It's a beautiful pyramid in one respect, isn't it? Not only do you have the anchored fifth dimensional energy available to you, you also have the open seventh with this beautiful lifting energy of the sixth dimensional star. So this is why February is so intense. Everyone on the planet right now, every sentient being, doesn't matter if you're human or not, is feeling this energy. There is a sense of mastery, awakening that is in some beings very confused right now. There will be a heightened sense of manipulation in February. There will be heightened polarity, and there will be a direct assault on your intelligence, and I'm going to use / consciousness, meaning this is why Bhakti, right, is so important. So again, January was the Shanti energy, and it was that peace energy, and it was about stabilizing, remember, all of 2018, anchoring stability through Shanti Bhakti Ananda. January was that Shanti energy, and everything we talked about in January happened very, very almost on schedule. It's almost alarming how clockwork this stuff is happening. February is going to be more intense, and remember, we're lifting though. We're lifting from the first to the second chakra. However, the second chakra is one of the most manipulated chakras on this planet. The second chakra, at its basis level, is just about sex and dominion. However, what true bhakti is about, as Shri mentioned, is the openness through the portal of forgiveness that ignites creation. So what do you want to birth this month?
Yes.
Birth your tri-dimensional state of being. And Shri and I are going to be writing quite a few articles. We're really talking about this all month long in our radio show. You want to tune in every Sunday. We're going to be tracking right with you all through this very intense month. And so what do you want to birth, and are you ready to birth it? Through the gift of the bhakti that comes through the peace of acceptance, the joy of forgiveness, and the ignition of your ascended presence. This is the month to not be afraid. And also, Shri and I want to share with you that we're very, very, very honored and excited that the universe has asked us to call forward what we're calling the Mastery Team. And in July, here at Tosa Blue Mountain Sanctuary, we are offering an incredible experience. It's about literally learning how to travel between all the worlds. Because remember, right now you guys are traveling through all the worlds. However, to really hone your mastery, you must get the fine-tuning of your skills that you know you already have. And this is the gift of this unified presence. And so for the first time ever, we are offering quantum clairvoyance, ascended numerology, and cosmic life regression as a unified mastery presence. And this is actually also a certification program. So after you come here, you might want to give readings for others, do these processes for others. But the overarching immediacy of this is the more that you can anchor your mastery presence between the worlds, the more that you can be consciously traveling through all of these dimensions, the more service we bring, the greater harmony we ignite. So check it out at shriandkira.com. It's right there on the homepage, Between Dimensions. Come join us in July, a very powerful experience. Remember, for February, my angels, Bhakti, Bhakti, Bhakti. The truth of Bhakti is not in the emotional body. It's not sitting inside your body claiming to be with another body. It's the love of your divine presence and the compassion ignited for the rest of the planet. This month you will be invited to really remember yourself as an instrument of Bhakti.
Bhakti is truly the ascended form of love. And when we're able to anchor that in our physicality, the body comes to peace with our ascension process. There's almost like a redo that is happening. The chakras, we visited them in the past. We've studied them. We've worked with their energies. What's happening now is bringing the ascended energies into the foundation so that the peace is a sense of safety regardless of the outer world.
Yes.
The love is a sense of deep acceptance and appreciation regardless of your individual experiences. And this is the ascended peace. So as you cultivate this, it's a time to visit whatever might be holding you back, complete your healing, move into the peacefulness and the acceptance that brings forward the love of all creation, which will then, drum roll, liberate you to create on a grander scale.
Exactly, especially as you anchor in this tri-dimensional reality, and I'm really saying that is the reality. Everything else is the illusion. You may want to keep a journal this month. You might want to keep a journal about how many times are you seeing something out of the corner of your eye and stop and pay attention to it. How many times are you having these time slips, right? You're being trained. You are already living in a tri-dimensional experience. And we're going to see how this month flows and most likely put out a video just about this tri-dimensional energy. For now, remember, you are already a master in form or you would not be on this planet. You are anchoring the blessing of Shanti. You are ready to live through the gift of Bhakti. And as you walk through this month, be the master, walk like the master, celebrate that you are here now, and know that your presence makes the difference.
We are traveling together. We love you. We are grateful for you. Namaste.